it's a maximum of 2 players from the same team in the starting 11, just so we can get a bit of diversity in there, and it's not just full of the same teams and big players. So yeah, bear that in mind. Of course, let me know any people I snub or completely forget about. There were quite a few standout performers in multiple positions, so it was quite hard to assemble this team. But yeah, let's get into it. So starting off in goal, and I mean in goal, to be honest, there was only really one candidate. There was someone else who I'll get onto in the bench who has also done pretty well, but it had to be one man, and that is Jan Sommer. Jan Sommer for Inter Milan. Yeah, I mean he's just been unreal. 7 clean sheets from 8 games in the Champions League. There was no way I was going to not put him in this team. Conceding just 1 goal in the entire league phase, that is very, very impressive. And I mean, yeah, you can say, of course, the defence in front of him has played a big role in that, but Sommer, when called upon, has been amazing. He's got a 95% save percentage in the Champions League this season, which is just absolutely unbelievable. And yeah, conceding 1 goal from 8 games, that's just insane, and it doesn't matter how good your defence is. He's done fantastic when called upon, and yeah, I don't really think there's been a ton of standout keepers, so it was a really, really obvious pick here. Sommer goes into the team. Now we'll move on to right back, where, I mean, maybe it was a little less obvious. There wasn't really a load of standout candidates, but there was one player who I think sort of had to get in, and that is Achraf Hakimi. Yeah, I mean, look, PSG obviously did not impress in the league phase at all, but one of their only performing players throughout the league phase was Hakimi. He was fairly consistent throughout the league phase, doing very, very well from right back, as you would expect, getting those goal contributions going forward, got a goal and 2 assists. But it's actually his overall play really that I was really impressed with. He actually won possession more times than anybody in the Champions League so far, and also created to be 4th most chances as well. He absolutely dominated the flank. He was crucial in that big game versus Man City as well. And I think without him, PSG, there's no chance PSG qualify for the top 24 without Hakimi. Hakimi was crucial in their run, and he'll be crucial in trying to keep them in the into the round of 16, because yeah, he's a big player for them. I think he's sort of dipped in form in the last couple of years, but he's really looks back to his best right now and showed his quality, I thought, throughout this campaign. Okay, centre backs. So first centre back is going to be Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk has to be in the team, doesn't he? I mean, I had to get a Liverpool player in there, of course, and similar to Inter were fantastic defensively, but so were Liverpool. He kept, he only played 7 games because he was rested in the final game. So Van Dijk individually got 5 clean sheets from 7 games. Very, very impressive there. Yeah, he was just an absolute rock at the back for Liverpool. Of course, they topped the league phase, so I had to get somebody in there from Liverpool. He was very, very good in some big games as well. You know, the Real Madrid game in particular, he was very, very good defensively. Scored a goal as well against AC Milan, which is a pretty important goal as well at the time. Yeah, as always, just imperious at the back, and even though he played 1 game less than most players in this team, his performances were good enough in those games to warrant him being in the team. Alongside him, we have another Premier League player, but it's not a Liverpool player. It is actually Gabriel from Arsenal. Again, sort of similar. Arsenal, one of the best teams defensively in the plays in 3 goals in 8 games. That is very, very impressive. You've got to give it to them. And yeah, Gabriel, similar to Van Dijk, was a big part of the reason why they only conceded 3 goals. Him and Saliba at the back, absolutely superb. Of course, you could put Saliba in here, but I've gone for Gabriel in this one. Like Van Dijk, he only played 7 games as well. Only conceded 3 goals in those 7 games. He also, again, like Van Dijk, scored a goal as well. So yeah, I think Gabriel and Van Dijk both deserve to be in this team. There were, a couple other names I was thinking of, but I don't really think. Again, there was too many outstanding centre backs, but these two, massive contributors to their teams. Fantastic defences in the league phase, so I think they have to be in the side. Now left back, I'm not gonna lie, this was the position which stunk the most. Like there wasn't really anybody at all who stood out from left back. I was close in going to Marco, but I have gone for Grimaldo. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. 2 goals and an assist is pretty decent from left back. But, I mean, yeah, Leverkusen did pretty well. Grimaldo got a decent amount of goal contributions, but I'm not going to sit here and say, like, Grimaldo was unbelievable in the league phase or anything. I think he played his role. He helped Leverkusen, as he always does going forward. Fantastic. And, yeah, Leverkusen had a pretty good, actually a very good league phase campaign, managed to get into the top 8, and Grimaldo definitely played his part in that. Yeah, maybe let me know in the comments below if there's somebody I'm missing at left back, but I don't really think there's anybody who's been outstanding, but I think Grimaldo's been pretty good, so I'm going to give it to him. Okay, in midfield, there's definitely been a lot of good candidates here. First player is actually going to be, why do I keep doing that? There we go. Joshua Kimmich is my first midfielder. Now, kind of similar to PSG and Hakimi here, but I mean, it maybe weren't spectacular in the league phase. They were not amazing, but Joshua Kimmich was very, very good, and you have to give it to him. I think his overall play was absolutely superb. I mean, some of his stats were absolutely unbelievable. I think he won the second most possession. He was second in chances created. I mean, he was just unbelievable up and down the pitch, creating chances, breaking up play. People sort of had, I guess, reservations about him in midfield, but he's definitely shown in the Champions League this season that he's more than capable of performing at a high level as a midfielder. And yeah, as I said, I mean, it weren't maybe fantastic in the league phase, but Kimmich definitely personally had a pretty good league phase campaign. I think was probably the best DM in the Champions League so far this season. Next up was a very simple pick, and that is Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz in the side, he has to be. I mean, yeah, one of, maybe he's got an argument for being the best player of the Champions League phase. Yeah, he was absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable for Leverkusen. I mentioned Leverkusen had a pretty good Champions League campaign so far, getting in the top 8, and Grimaldo played his part well. Without Wirtz, there's no way Leverkusen get in the top 8. 6 goals in 8 games is absolutely superb. Got an assist in there as well. Most chances created out of any player in the Champions League, in the league phase. Just absolutely superb. Absolutely superb from Florian Wirtz. Yeah, scoring, creating. He can do it all. He can do it all. One of the best players in the world right now, and he showed this is first, I believe, or well, at least since he's sort of become a star, is his first Champions League campaign, and he showed that he can definitely step up to the plate and step up to the level. He was amazing, and Liverpool can need him to step up in the knockout stages if they're gonna go deep. in the Champions League. He's been very good in the Premier League as well, but I think in the Champions League in particular, I've been really impressed. I thought the Milan game, he was unbelievable, but the Real Madrid game in particular, he was absolutely sensational. Those sort of big games for Liverpool in the Champions League, he's really, really stood out in my opinion. Like Van Dijk, he was rested in the final game, but yeah, I think, maybe he doesn't pop in terms of goals and assists, but I think if you just watch the games, you see his importance to the side. A true box-to-box midfielder he's become under Slot, and yeah, he was absolutely crucial in those games versus Madrid, versus Milan, versus Leverkusen, all of these games early on in the campaign. I think people forget the start Liverpool made. Gravenberch was very, very key towards that. So yeah, I put him in there. Okay, now we get into the front three, and this is very good, and this was very hard. Now, one player who is definitely in there, I'm gonna play him off the right. I mean, he doesn't really play there, but oh well, it's Rafinha. I mean, Rafinha has to be in the side. Is between him and Burt's really. It's probably him, to be honest, but it's between those two for the best player in the league phase. Rafinha, 8 goals and 4 assists, absolutely unbelievable. And it's not just what impressed me most. It's not just sort of like stat padding against Young Boy and those sorts of teams. He's actually been pretty clutch and scored in some big games. Obviously, he's got a hat trick versus Bayern Munich, which is absolutely unbelievable. But he also scored, I think, a brace versus Borussia Dortmund, which was again very clutch. Obviously, the Benfica game scored the last-minute winner. Again, clutch goal. So he's been really, really crucial in terms of getting Barcelona points, not just sort of scoring in those meaningless games. He's performing in those big games, those big moments, which is the most impressive thing for me about Rafinha. And yeah, like Wirtz, if Barcelona are gonna try and win this thing, then Rafinha is gonna have to keep this up. And if Rafinha can keep turning up in these big games, these big moments in the Champions League, then who knows? Maybe a Ballon d'Or could be on the cards. That would be pretty mad, but I mean, he is in unbelievable form right now, and he's having a sensational year, particularly in the Champions League. So well done to him. Okay, in left wing, this was quite hard, but I have just gone for Ademola Lookman in at left wing. Yeah, he's got 4 goals and 1 assist in 7 games in the Champions League, but it's not necessary. It's more so his overall performances, and again, sort of in those big games, those big moments when his team needed him to get points for him, he performed. For example, Charles de Ketelara is somebody who maybe he outperforms Lookman in terms of goals and assists in the Champions League so far, but most of those were versus young boys, whereas Lookman against Shakhtar Donetsk, which, I mean, obviously they're not a great opposition, but still, Atalanta were struggling in that game, and Lookman came up clutch. The Real Madrid game, I know they didn't win that game, but they ended up losing, but Lookman, again, he was the one who dragged them back into that game. The Stuttgart game, again, Lookman, key player in that. Yeah, he was absolutely crucial to Atalanta having a very good league phase campaign. And yeah, I think, again, if Atalanta are going to make a deep run in here, Lookman is going to be crucial. He certainly enjoys European competition. He was unbelievable in the Europa League last season, of course, and he's continued that form in the Champions League this year. I think he's been very, very impressive and deserves to be in this side. Okay, up front there was a lot, and I mean a lot of names, as we'll get onto in the bench, but it was really between 2 people. It had to be, and I went for Serhou Guirassy. Yeah, I mean, he is the joint top goal scorer in the league phase, currently 9 goals in 8 games. That is very, very impressive. I mean, I had to get one of the top scorers in the side, right? It was only right. Now, I will say, a couple against like Celtics and sort of young boys and stuff, but still, 9 goals in 8 games is still very, very impressive. Almost double digits already in the Champions League is pretty impressive, and to do it for a club like Dortmund, who maybe have had their struggles this season, is impressive. And I think without him, Dortmund probably finish a lot lower in the Champions League than they actually did. So, and again, I think this might be, don't quote me on this, his first ever Champions League campaign. So to score 9 goals in the league phase is absolutely superb. Right, so that's the starting 11. We'll get onto the bench now. So my backup goalkeeper is Thibaut Courtois. Yeah, he was really the only other goalkeeper I was considering pulling in here. He put in some stellar performances, even if Real Madrid did not as a team. Individually, he was superb. I mean, he kept them in a lot of the games, like the Brest game, he was unreal. The Atalanta win, he was unbelievable. I mean, even though like Milan, Liverpool losses could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for Courtois. So, yeah, well and truly back to his best. The only other defender I was really considering was Jonathan Tah. Yeah, I mean, he kept 5 clean sheets in 8 games. Very, very good. He was a rock at the back for Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, very, very good at the back. Very composed, great passing, great defending, great aerially. He's a sort of all-round centre-back. And yeah, I think helped Leverkusen massively defensively. Next midfielder is João Neves. For PSG, again, weirdly, I know I've got 2 PSG players in here, even though PSG absolutely sucked. But Neves was very, very good despite PSG being very, very bad. And I mean, in particular, that Manchester City game, wow, he was unbelievable. He was absolutely everywhere. And he showed his class. He's just the complete midfielder. He can do it all. He can pass, he can dribble, he can create chances, he can break up play defensively. He can do it all. And I thought he was sensational, and overall had a good campaign in the league phase. But in particular, a big game, a clutch game to keep PSG in the competition. He puts in a man-of-match performance versus Man City. So, yeah, he had to be in there. Next up, we have someone who, I mean, again, sort of just has to be in there. It's Mo Salah. I know, like, to be fair, Salah, I would say, he's been unbelievable in the Premier League. In the Champions League, he's been okay, but not amazing. But still, like, that's just for his standards. He's still got 3 goals and 4 assists, which is a very, very good return. Yeah, obviously scored against Lille, against Bologna, scored the winner versus Girona. Those sorts of games, maybe not the best opposition, but they actually were pretty important goals because Liverpool only won those games by like a goal or 2. So yeah, look, Salah, even though he's not got like he's popping like in the Prem where he's got like some mad numbers, he's still performing at a very good level in the Champions League and has had a pretty good league phase campaign. I've also gone for a bit of a rogue one, but I've actually gone for Rafa Leao. Now the reason I've gone for Leao is, again, maybe not because his numbers have popped off in the Champions League, but it's more so the sort of like clutch factor and sort of importance to his side. Leao actually performed very, very well in some big moments for Milan in the Champions League. Obviously, the win at Real Madrid, he was very, very good, but then he got the winning goal, or not the winning goal, but he scored in a narrow win versus Slovan Bratislava, and he was crucial in that win. He got, again, same thing against Girona, and again, same thing versus Red Star Belgrade. So 3 games where they only won by 1 goal, and Rafa Leao scored in every one and played very well in each one. If Leao doesn't perform and they drop points there, Milan probably don't actually qualify. So just for that sheer importance in those big games where we needed to get those wins. Liao turned up, so for that reason I put him in this team. I've also gone for, again, someone, Vinicius Jr., who it's someone who I think, kind of like Salah, we're sort of just accustomed to Vinny being sensational, so we sort of forget about how good he is, and we almost like think he's having a down year and not performing in the Champions League. I mean, this guy's still got 7 goals in 6 games. Like, it's unbelievable. He's got a hat-trick versus Borussia Dortmund. Very, very important hat-trick as well. Without him, they probably don't win that game, and at that time they needed a win. He scored against Atalanta as well. Again, very important. They needed to win that, and he scored in that game too. So yeah, Vinny, 7 goals in 6 games is still unbelievable. And even though, it may seem like he's not having an unreal season, he is still just popping out those numbers, scoring in some big games too. And you can't really deny how good he has been this season. Next up, we have Jonathan David. Wherever he is. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I had to get a little player in there. They were probably the shock of the league phase, managing to finish in the top 8. Absolutely sensational achievement from them, and Jonathan David was the main man. I mean, shout out to Zeglova as well, he was pretty good, but David with 6 goals in the league phase, scored against Real Madrid, scored against Atletico, scored a lot of goals, a lot of clutch goals, and yeah, he was the talisman for a sensational little team who can be very, very proud of what they achieved in the league phase. Fantastic achievement for them, and David, he performed well. Next up, we have Viktor Gyökeres. Now, Viktor Gyökeres at one point looked like he was guaranteed to be in the starting 11, but unfortunately, Sporting Lisbon completely collapsed once Amram left, meaning Gyökeres, didn't get a bunch of goals. I mean, he still ended on 6 goals, which is pretty good. And to be fair, without him scoring those goals early on, Sporting definitely don't qualify, so he played an integral part to Sporting qualifying. And yeah, I mean, his performances, obviously that game against Manchester City, absolutely unbelievable, but his performances in general early on under Amram were absolutely unreal. He looked like he was unstoppable, but yeah, since Amram's left, sort of dried up a little bit in terms of the goals in the Champions League, but still he did enough to get in the team based on those goals early on in the campaign. Next up is, of course, Lewandowski, the other player, the other joint top goal scorer. It was him or Girassi. You can take your pick. I just went Girassi because, I wanted a Dortmund player in there, but yeah, Lewandowski, 9 goals, just like Girassi, very, very impressive. But again, sort of like Girassi, I mean, it was sort of against weaker opposition, most of them coming up against the likes of Young Boys, Red Stars. Did score 2 versus Benfica, which credit to him for that, but yeah, most of his goals were not against the most high-level opposition. But that being said, you cannot deny the goal-scoring ability of him, and scoring 9 goals in 8 games is still mighty, mighty impressive, so he had to be in the team. Okay, and the final player I have is Julian. Julian. There we go, Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez for Atleti. Atleti, again, another team who were superb in the league phase, managed to get into the top 8, and Alvarez played a massive, massive role in that. He got 6 goals, but it's not just the fact he got 6 goals, it's more the importance of those goals. And particularly the Leverkusen game, he scored an absolutely clutch brace in that game when they had 10 men, scored 2 goals, sensational goals as well, to give them the win, and that win pretty much secured them in the top 8. So just for that sort of clutchness and performing in that big game, I'd put him in there. Right, so here is the team. We'll run through it then. In goal, we have Jan Sommer. Right back, Ashraf Hakimi. Centre backs, Van Dijk and Gabriel. Left back, Grimaldo. Midfield of Gravenberg, Kimmich and Wirtz. Front three of Rafinha, Jurasi and Lookman. And on the bench we have Courtois, Tar, Neves, Salah, Leao, Finney, David, Gyökeres, Lewandowski and Julian Alvarez. I just realised a manager slot as well, and I mean, manager, we'll go for, I could go slot. I mean, that's sort of like the cop-out answer. Maybe Hansi Flick. Actually, you know what? We'll go for what's his name? I think it's Bruno. I don't think we have him. Okay. Well, I wanted like the Lille manager. I think the Lille manager Bruno Genesio deserves it, to be honest. But yeah, he is their manager, right? Hold on, let me get a quick Google. I'm pretty sure he's their manager. Yeah, he is. I'm not tripping. Okay, well, I can't have him. He's not on the game, so I'll give it to Flick. Only because I feel like they came up against some harder opposition maybe than Liverpool did. He beat Bayern Munich. Actually, to be honest, they beat Bayern Munich. Liverpool beat Real Madrid. Yeah, give it to slot, whoever you want, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know who I missed